Welcome to a brand new series we're calling Weekends with Moose, because this guy, which you probably recognize from our Celica project or just from being around the shop a bunch, has an E36 M3 that we featured a few times, and he's going to be in here puttering around on weekends like a proper British gentleman. So you'll see lots of his E36 M3 in this series, as well as some other random stuff, like you recently built a welding cart.
Yeah, whatever sort of takes my fancy, you know, what takes me down the path in the shop.
I may pop by, Pete may pop by, you may see random visitors, but it's mostly going to be a large sweaty man working on old greasy motors and doing other shop-like things.
All right, back in the Speed Academy shop for a Saturday shop project. I'm going to take my welder, my new one, bunch of metal, some plans, and this, and make myself a custom welding cart. Yeah. This rather nice bandsaw here at the Speed Academy shop. I'm using it because it's here, it's easier, it's faster, it's a little bit cleaner. However, you don't necessarily need to use this. You can go all Nick Blackhurst and use your bog standard 4.5-inch angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, some safety squints, and you know something, it'll get you to the same place you want to cut. So this project to make myself a custom cart started off with measurements of all the bits I needed to be able to fit. That then sort of flipped into a rough set of drawings, kind of the concept of kind of what I wanted to see, what sort of measurements I might need. From that, I turned this into more detailed construction drawings of essentially the layers that I'm going to be slapping together. And then a side view to kind of give you an idea of what hopefully I'll be able to create from this. And there you go. Alright, now that everything's cut, it's time to prep and get ready to weld. So I'm going to clean up the surfaces, deburr them, bevel them, clean with acetone, square them up in the table, make sure everything fits nice, tack them if I'm happy, make sure everything's square, and weld them all up. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Here's the base plate. Probably the most complex of this whole piece. I have, besides the 1x2 exterior frame, I've got a 1x1 additional. And what that's for, it's set up on the spacing of my casters so I can drill through and bolt them down. I've done the same thing over here. I've had a second support across here with these two crossbars. And what that's for is when I invert this, when I put the sheet metal on top, this is where the tanks will hit. So the tanks will hit here And instead of going through the sheet metal, they basically get directly supported across these steel crossbars. And again, this crossbar here has been flush to the top, so when I sheet the top, it'll be continuous. So that's basically how it is. And each other level is similar, but without the additional crap over here for the tanks.
At this point, you may be asking yourself, why is Moose going through all the trouble to build this over-designed, over-complicated welding cart when he could just go to Harbor Freight and buy one for the cost of dinner for 4 at Denny's? Why does Moose do anything? I mean, he is a complicated creature, often solitary, so our understanding of him is a bit spotty, but in his defense, he did explain to us that none of the off-the-shelf carts that he found would do the things he wanted this cart to do, meaning carry both a MIG and a TIG welder, hold 2 bottles, and hold a tool chest for all his other welding bits and bobs. So I guess we'll give the big man the benefit of the doubt here and watch this thing slowly, painfully be completed, and then we'll judge it harshly in the end.
All right, made a slight miscalculation. I measured the cabinet, but I didn't take into account the 2-inch wide box here. And my drawers are just a little bit wider than the opening. So what I'm going to do is I marked it out. I'm going to cut myself a notch that I can open the drawers through and weld back in a patch. So not perfect, but it'll do. All right, I'd say this project is done. Look at this wonderfulness, this exquisite bit of craftsmanship. Ha! Well, it is a functional piece. It ain't pretty, but it works. It holds my MIG and my TIG. It holds my consumables, my tungsten and TIG, things like this. Got space underneath. At a place I can hold 2 large tanks. Only have a small one in here, but a couple tanks. My torches, everything. In a cart they can wheel around as is. So other than paint, which I'm going to do a little bit later, I am going to attach the shelves, the sheet metal shelves, with some Tech screws. I don't want to weld them in because I want to be able to paint around them anyways. And I'm going to change this if I need to. And I'm probably going to put some spacer blocks in behind here just to shift these forward a little bit. At the end of the day, these keep these at a good height. They're comfortable to use when standing up. And they do everything I need to do for this little project here. I know some of you are going to ask, so let's talk about the build costs. Probably would have been cheaper to go out and buy something that was close to what I needed. Couldn't find what I was looking for, so I decided to build. So for me, it was worth it.